Hello and welcome to DevWave Diaries. If you're ready to level up your web design skills, you've come to the perfect place. In today's video, I'll show you how to create this type of amazing scrolling text animation to create visually stunning, interactive designs. Let's get into it. First, create a div with the class name container. Inside this div, add another div with the class name page1, followed by a div with the class name page2, and finally a div with the class name page3. Now, inside the page2 div, create another div with two class names, strip and stripWrite. Inside this div, add an h1 tag and write the text 1. Then, create a span tag and also write the text 1 inside it. Next, copy and paste the 1 text 4 more times to create a single line of text. Next, duplicate the strip div by selecting it and then pressing the Alt plus Shift plus down arrow keys. After that, change the class name stripWrite to stripLeft in the copied div. Select both the stripWrite and stripLeft divs. Then, press the Alt plus Shift plus down arrow keys to duplicate them. Then, copy the stripWrite div again and paste it. Now, we have created a total of 5 strips for our animation. This is the only HTML code we need for our animation. Now, let's move on to the CSS. First, let's import the font family using the font face property. Inside it, specify the font URL and the font name. For example, here I am adding the name newfont as the font name. For this demonstration, I have already downloaded a font style and stored it in the specified location. If you want to use this font, check the video description, where I've included a GitHub link to download it. Next, let's set up a basic CSS boilerplate. Start by setting the margin to 0 and the padding to 0, which removes the default spacing applied by browsers. Then, set the box sizing property to border box, which makes sure that the width and height of elements include padding and border sizes, preventing unexpected layout issues. Now, let's add some basic styles to the HTML and body elements. Set their width to 100% and height to 100%, ensuring they cover the entire viewport. Then, set the background color to #111 to give it a dark appearance, which will serve as the base for our animation. After that, let's style the container div. Set its width to 100% so it spans the entire width of the viewport. Set the min height to 100 VH to ensure it covers the full height of the viewport, regardless of content. Finally, set overflow X to hidden to prevent any horizontal scrolling caused by elements overflowing the container. Open the browser, and you'll see that all the 1 texts are arranged one after another across 5 different lines. Next, let's style all 3 pages using the selectors .page1, .page2, and .page3. Set their width to 100%, so each page spans the full width of the viewport. Then, set the height to 100 VH, ensuring that each page takes up the full height of the viewport. Now, let's style the strip div. Set its width to 300%, which will make it 3 times the width of its parent container. This is essential for creating the animation effect across a larger area. Next, let's style the h1 tag inside the page2 div. Set its color to #FFF to make the text white. Then, set its font family to newfont, which is the custom font family we created earlier using the @FontFace property. Here I made a small mistake. The correct name of the font family is newfont. I misspelled it earlier. Please use newfont as the font family name. After that, let's add some additional styles to the h1 tag. Set its font size to 10.5 rem for a bold and prominent appearance. Adjust the line height to 12 rem to ensure proper spacing between the lines of text. Finally, set pointer events to none to disable any mouse interactions with the text. Now, open the browser and scroll a little. You will see that all the text is now visible with the added font family and styles. Next, let's style the span tags inside the h1 tag. Set their color to transparent to make the inner text invisible. Then, apply WebKit text stroke with 1 pixel #FFF to create a white outline effect for the text. Open the browser and scroll a little. You will observe that each line of text now displays two versions of the word one. One is solid and filled with the text color, while the other has a white outline around it, placed side by side in each line. Now, let's select all the even-numbered strip divs using the nthchild, 2n, pseudoclass. Here, 2n means selecting all elements that are in even positions, example, the second, fourth, sixth, divs. After that, inside the selected even-numbered strip divs, apply margin left, -100%. This will shift these divs to the left by 100% of their width, creating a visual offset. Now, this is all the CSS code we need. Next, let's move on to the JavaScript portion. First, let's add the Gsap CDN to our code. Visit the CDN.js website's Gsap page, and I will share the link to this page in the video description. Once you're there, copy the first script tag and paste it into your HTML code, right before the regular script tag. Now, visit the page again, scroll down a little, and copy the scrolltrigger.min.js script tag. Then, paste it into your HTML file, right after the Gsap CDN script tag. Next, let's create a variable named TL. For its value, write gsap, then type a dot. You'll notice that VS Code automatically change it to another text. Press Ctrl+Z to undo this change. Now, type timeline, and inside it, write ScrollTrigger to set up the scroll-triggered animation timeline. Next, inside the scroll trigger, write trigger and set its value to .page2, which will specify that the animation is triggered when the .page2 element comes into view. Also, set markers, true inside the scroll trigger object. This will display visual markers on the screen, showing the start and end positions of the trigger area for debugging purposes. As you can see, the start and end markers appear on the screen because we set markers, true. These markers help visualize the trigger points for the animation. Next, let's add start and set its value to 0% 90%. This will set the starting point of the animation. Now, you can see that the start point is set to 0%, which means it aligns with the top of the .page2 div, and the scroll start is set to 90% of the height from the top of the .page2 div. Next, let's add end and set its value to 180% 90%. The end line will position the endpoint 180% of the height below the .page2 div, while the scroll end will remain 90% from the top of the .page2 div. Next, let's add scrub, true inside the scroll trigger method. This will synchronize the animation with the scrolling, ensuring a smooth and responsive effect as you scroll through the page. Now, write TL.to and open parentheses. Inside the parentheses, specify .stripleft, which will target the stripleft div for the animation. Inside it write, margin left, 0%. This will animate the stripleft div, moving it back to its original position. This animation will occur dynamically as you scroll through the page. As you can see, when we scroll the page, all the .stripright divs move from left to right, creating a smooth scrolling animation. Now, inside the first parentheses write any text within single quotation. For example, I write A. Next, write .to and open parentheses. Inside it, specify .stripright to target stripright div for the next animation. Inside it write margin left, -100%. This will animate the .stripright div to right to left. Next, inside the first parentheses of the .to method, write the same string that we used previously. The previous string that we added inside the .to method. It helps synchronize the animations of both the stripright and stripleft divs, so they animate together as you scroll, to create a seamless effect. Here, we want to add more smoothness to the animation during scrolling. To do this, let's move to the CSS first. Then, go to the .strip selector. Inside it, add a transition, all cubic-bezier, and select the value I have shown. This will ensure a smoother transition effect as the animation progresses. Now, open the browser and scroll the page. You will see that the strips move smoothly with the scrolling, thanks to the added cubic-bezier transition in the CSS. Next, let's move back to the JavaScript code. Remove the markers, true line, as it was only used for debugging purposes and is no longer needed for the final animation. Now, open the browser and scroll to the second page. You will see that, during scrolling, the first text line moves from right to left, while the next one moves from left to right, and so on. We've created a beautiful, award-winning page animation. If you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all our latest content. Your support helps us create more exciting and valuable videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode of DevWave Diaries.